It has been a day. New Orleans, oh my goodness. I ate so much food. I didn't eat during the whole day. We went and got a bunch of barbecue. First Lady and Miss Tracy, they went and got boudin and some kind of mud pies, something like that. And they dipped them in barbecue sauce. It's good. You can Cajun barbecue sauce. You can dip about anything you find on the side of the road in barbecue sauce, and it's gonna be good. And so I ate till I was full like a tick. And so, forgive me for being a little bit tired, but it has been a day. It has been a day. PCA kicked off early. It was fantastic and awesome. And it's not the first time. I heard a dozen times today from different people that it was different. The energy from New Orleans to Vegas was so much different. I got a cigar that I'm going to be smoking tonight. By the way, tonight's episode and all episodes of PCA After Dark 2025 are brought to you by our friends at Villiger. Villiger makes cigars. If you want a cigar, get a Villiger cigar. And you know what? They're not that bad. They're pretty dang good. They're actually tasty, and the construction is great. You can get them at different price points. You can get them at different sizes. You can get them at different flavors. You can smoke them in a house if your wife lets you. Mine won't. You could smoke them in a boat. You could smoke them with a goat as long as they're 21. I'd actually smoke the goat, then eat that and smoke the cigar. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. And by the way, I'll light it up. It's a shaggy foot, but I need a lighter. So, with having the need for a lighter for this cigar, given me by my man Sanj Patel, that's right, the industry killer himself. This thing has a perfumey quality to it. He says it is the best cigar I will ever smoke in my life. So, you know what? I'm gonna do it here on live, and I'm gonna tell you if it's the best cigar I ever smoked in my life. I don't have high hopes for that, but I have high hopes it's good because Sanj has some amazing industry killer cigars. I love them. Great price points, solid cigars. But I got to show you what I got. I'm surprised I got it. It was the last thing we did at PCA today. There was a media party. I mean, you had to be invitation only. Guy came up to Chief and said, "Hey, you're Chief." And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "I got a media party I want you to come to." And that was from a company named Placencia. So after we were done in the velvet roped media party, really fancy, pinkies out, people walking around with walking hors d'oeuvres and drinks, in interviews, I interviewed one of the Placencias, the fifth generation Placencia. It's pretty cool. He's pretty smart. Watch the video when it comes out because I need the views, and you're going to like the video anyway. But they gave us a bag. Look at that bag right there. It's just, Balenciaga could be on that, right? Jimmy Choo or whatever. Chew whatever. Not Jimmy Choo. I don't know. Anyway, I don't need the bag. But there's a box. And so I thought because they're promoting this cigar that is grown at 3,500 feet above sea level, supposedly the highest level of not high. You don't get high with it. It's that the tobacco is the highest elevation of sea level anywhere. And we talked about that and watched the video because I tell you now, but you wouldn't watch the video. But this is the Alma Cielo. I messed it up, I guarantee. But that's what it says right there. It's a pretty hard, right? It's fancy. It's fancy. It's handing this thing out, and I was like, "Oh, well, let's look. Let's see." So, open it up, Bob. So it's got a little piece of paper in here. They always do, right? It says the world's highest elevation cigar. See, I told you. That's what it says right there. I told you. It says its exposure to higher sunlight and cooler climates captures a unique flavor that captivates. I actually asked him that question. It takes longer to grow. It's a longer growing season. It's a longer aging season. The pilon process is different. And so there is that six-sided cigar. That Alma Fuerte is one of my favorites, but this is another six-sided cigar. They say they do six-sided because they want to get back to nature. And the nature part of it is this is the shape of a honeycomb, which is one of the best, they said, one of the best engineered designs from nature. And so then they've been coming out with tubos, six-sided tubos. And I'm like, "Oh, look at that. That's a six-sided tubo. That's fancy." And then I grabbed it and I'm like, that cigar's made out of lead. That's a heavy butt cigar. Or that tubo is extremely thick. Then I started looking at it and it's got a little push-in button. I said, "What is that about?" And then I heard a psst, and I'm like, "Oh, not me. It's this." So I flipped that top up and I did that, and there's a lighter right there. Not only is there a lighter right there with a great fuel one, this thing is heavy as all get out. It's got a little punch on the bottom of it, right? You could flip that thing open. Well, you can flip it open if you have fingernails. I don't. There's a punch right there on the bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna light my cigar. Now, this is not that cigar because I want to smoke that cigar when I'm really paying attention. I'm paying attention to you, so I want to enjoy it. I really, really do. But this is Sanj Patel's next cigar, closed foot. As you can see, that wrapper's lighting up nice and pretty. Right, this thing is big. This thing is hefty. I really, really like that. By the way, we have an in in studio audience. We've got the first lady on my right, and then we got Miss Tracy on the left, and then Chief and oh my goodness, Supremo Tobacco. Brian is over there at the bonfire. Wow, it has a perfumey quality. Not like if you're like I was when I was a kid. You go to the mall, and back in the 80s and early 90s, there are these girls at the mall with colognes, perfumes. And when you walk through, they go, "Pfft," and they spray you with that stuff to make you smell their cologne. They don't do it anymore because it's a salt. But you'd get it in your mouth because your mouth would be open. You run your mouth and you go, oh, that's disgusting, right? This doesn't taste like that. But this has the taste of a smell of a very florally perfume. It's got some spiciness. It's got a little minerality. It's got a little leather. The smoke is full. A little cedar oakiness. But there is a floral quality to it, and it's smoky as a beast. If I don't smoke it, it will smoke itself, and it's going to make me cough because I got all the smoke coming out my mouth. But I had so much fun. We went and visited we did so many interviews. Let's see. We started off with Drew Estate. Then we went and saw JC Newman. Then we went to Adventura. Then we went to Gurkha. Then we went to Paustani. Then we went to Aladino, JRE. And then we went to Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust and sat with Steve Saka. And then we went to Black Star Line, which is a newer company. It said it had been around 4 years, but I haven't never heard of them. And then we finished up at that Placencia party where we got that interview. Now, I'm going to tell you, I need you to watch the interviews. Why? Because it'll make your life better. Why else? Because it'll make my life better. Because more people watch it, I can go to manufacturers and say, hey, people watch my stuff, and I'd like you to give me more stuff. So I can give them stuff because they'll buy your stuff because they see me with your stuff. Can I have some stuff? And by the way, if you got pictures of presidents like Benjamin Franklin and small little green things, I won't frame them, but I'll take, 10 of them, and I'll put them to good use and buy more what? Stuff. Yes. So lots of stuff I've got for you so that you can watch so I can get some stuff for me. That's fair, right? You help me out? I appreciate it. Steel Bob, what's up? What's up? What's up? Fireborn, my man. Steel Bob is tearing it up. Chief better get to editing. Oh my goodness, I've got to tell you a story about editing. I won't tell you. I'll tell you now because I'm not going to tell you the company because that wouldn't be nice. I'll try to be nice. Went to a company and we got an interview from a young man who, let's say his first language, his mother language, his heart language, whatever it's called, was not English. It was something of a Latin descent. And although he had a grasp on the English language, he did not have a grasp on saying it right the first time. And he actually kept saying things and messing up and stopping. And actually looked at Chief one time and said, hey, you're going to cut this stuff out, right? So we spent 40 minutes for what's probably going to be a 5-minute interview. And Chief's going to have to chop everything up. He complains that I coughed during the interviews, which I only coughed one time during one interview because the smoke gets up in my nose while I'm running my mouth. And this interview is going to take him hours upon hours upon hours. But pretty interesting stuff. I tell you about it, but then you know who I was talking about. And I don't want you to know what I'm talking about. You'll probably know anyway because Chief is great at editing. He can make this look good, but that was a train wreck, honestly. And this is delicious. This is a different flavor profile than I've ever experienced in a cigar. That's nice. I'm going to go ahead and go. I'll see y'all later because I'm going to finish smoking it. No, I'm not going to do that. We've got 50 minutes because this show is brought to you by Villiger Cigars. That's right, Villiger Cigars. In the name is what they give you, and what they give you is a good smoking opportunity with cigars. That's right. From who? From Villiger. That's exactly right. They've been making cigars for a long time. They're making cigars now, and they want to keep making cigars. To help them do that, buy their cigars. Yes, I'd like you to buy their cigars, and I think you'll enjoy them. Lots of different flavor profiles, from a very creamy cremo, it's called a cremo cigar, to the very, very dark black forest, which is a dark looking cigar. I believe it's a triple Maduro. And it is a nice looking cigar, a little heavy on the mouth, but it's really, really good. It makes me think of a good German dinner where you're ready to take a nap when you're done. That cigar, do not smoke that cigar when you're about to run a marathon. Now, me personally, I'm never going to run a marathon. Actually, if you see me running, run too. Because whatever's behind me is really, really bad. Because I don't run for a little bit to nothing. I don't.
I saw you run last night.
Uh-oh, wait now. Hush. That's a different kind of run. That was role playing. I was pretending like I was Lance Armstrong. All right? And she was a Wonder Woman. But I'm going to leave that alone because it's a family friendly show. By the way, did you know that Villiger makes cigars and I'd like you to buy some? That's right. So, that first lady, I tell you what, I love her, thank goodness. I really do. She's birdie too. But I'm going to leave that alone as well because I'm not going to role play the. No, we're not going to do it. So,
Tomorrow's your anniversary.
tomorrow is my anniversary to my first wife.
There you
It's first lady because she was my first wife. You think two people would marry me?
go.
No, I'm amazed that one did, and I'm glad she did because I like her a lot. We've been married for 34 years. That's right, 34 years tomorrow, and that's the best 10 years of her life, and she'll tell you that. She will. Honest to goodness. Oh, let's see. All right, so we started at Drew Estate first, which was great. Drew Estate always changes the game. They were back last year for the first time to PCA, and in doing that, they flipped the script. Jonathan Drew and Isola Woods interviewed me. One of the craziest things I've ever been. I loved it, but I was nervous as all get out. I'm glad I went to the bathroom before I got there because when I found out that I was being interviewed by Jonathan Drew, I was having a hard time. But Jonathan made it really easy. Isola did a great job, and I just sat in between and sounded like I do. But it was. He actually said everybody at Drew Estate loves me, and I copied it. I saved it, so I did. I look at it every once in a while, and I feel sad about myself. But interview was last year. This year, they're promoting really heavy the Tour de Liga. Now, their booth is huge. It's 20 feet wide by 60 feet long, and it is full of cigars and tables. It was full of tons of people writing paper. Let me tell you about what writing paper is. When you go in as a retailer, you're going to basically buy your cigars for the year from the manufacturer. Supremo Tobacco. Thank you, buddy. I need the views. So he just right over there. Chief ain't on, but Supremo Tobacco is, right? I'm going to adopt him, and Steven can go kick rocks in California. He know how, Supremo Tobacco know how to take pictures and videos, so, he can get it too. So, Steven, your days are numbered. Um, Steve Saka asked me which was my favorite child, and I just kept my mouth shut. Um, I didn't say anything because I love them both the same. I love my grandkids more. Anyway, but what was I saying? Drew Estate. All right, so this year they're promoting the Tour de Liga, and writing paper, writing paper, writing paper. So a company will come in, a shop, your local shop will come in, and they will sit down with Drew Estate or any other manufacturer, and they will set up what they want to buy for the year, and they will get allotments every quarter, usually every 2 months to every 3 months to every 4 months, depending on how you structure it. But you basically lock in your prices and you lock in your amounts, and so that you are guaranteed to have those cigars at that price. And it's really a great way for them to get not have to do it every week, have a rep come out every week and have to sell them things, because when a rep comes out in your shop, it's great and it's wonderful, but you're taking away from time from being with your customers, and you're not there to buy cigars as a retailer. You're there to sell cigars, right? And so you want to spend more time reaching your customers. And so being able to come to PCA in Vegas or in New Orleans this year, you're able to sit down and get all that stuff out of the way so you can get more and more stuff done when you're at your shop selling cigars, right? By the way, you know who sells cigars? Villiger sells cigars. They sponsor today's show and tomorrow's show and the next day's show. That's right, we're going to have 4 instead of 3 because Bob the Cigar Guy is value added. That's right, they only contracted me for 3. I'm going to give them 4. Hopefully, we'll have at least one good one out of it. So please watch them all because why? I need the views. Why do I need the views? Because I want to be able to sell this again next year, and in doing that, I can get extra money where I can buy cigars. So you get stuff by buying cigars, I get stuff by buying cigars. And the first lady goes, "I love you." That's what she just said to me. She's very supportive. She's very caring. She's very concerned for me. Anyway, Drew Estate promote Tortoliga. What is Tortoliga? It was in Arizona this year. And it is, somebody said, "Hey, Big Daddy, I hope that is Shanna Jade." Hey, Shanna Jade. Chief in the Leaves says, "Have I hit 30 yet?" No, but your mom hits 40s and 50s every time she does a live. Anyway, Chief is talking about numbers and views. She's not paying attention. First lady's not paying
I'm
attention
not
to me.
even
She's
watching
probably
you.
shopping on Temu.
On Facebook.
On Facebook. I love the support. So Tortoliga is a time for you to go and be able to enjoy learning the experience of the Liga line. And so we got to taste the wrappers of a Liga 9, a T52, and an H99. And they showed us the soil. They talked to us about the seeds. They talked to us about the way it was cut. And it was really interesting to smoke just the wrapper of those cigars to really pinpoint the differences between the Liga 9 is so creamy in the smoke, extremely creamy in the smoke. The T52 is a little bit thinner, but it's peppery, spicy. The H99 is a little bit stronger. It had some vitamin N to it with that hybridized wrapper, but it had a middle of the road flavor. It was really interesting to see the differences between just the wrappers because the wrapper imparts up to 80% of the flavor of the cigar, and having it by itself, that's pretty interesting. So we did that tour for about 45 minutes, and then we're off to our next stop, which was JC Newman. Drew Newman is amazing, fantastic, and phenomenal. And Chief is throwing rocks over here. You know, you just can't find good help. So Drew Newman sat down with me, and we had a great conversation. We did. Sitting in those chairs, with, excuse me, I got to try the new Diamond Crown. I got to try the new Diamond Crown, which was fantastic. It was a Connecticut shade, and then I'm in the middle of a circus, is what I'm in the middle of, and then
Cracked your watch.
I told him that I was excited about having the JC Newman American, that he has a special blend of Lonsdale made up, and I told him, I said, "I'm loving this cigar, but I was hoping to get that American." He pulled one out and he handed it to me, and it is right here. Now, if you don't know about the JC Newman American cigar, this cigar is all American, not just the name. The cellophane, the wrapper, the band, the binder, the filler, the glue where it was rolled, the boxes, all tobacco and all everything else comes from America. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. And it tastes extremely good. I love it. And they are so distracting, but that's okay. By the way, when I was at Drew Estate, I went to Drew Estate a couple times. I actually got one of the new Deadwood series, Dominicana. This is a Connecticut shade leather rose-ish Sweet Jane kind of cigar. Fantastic. A little bit more mellow, a little bit more laid back. You know, you know I'm sponsored, right? You do know that, right? We're not doing this for fun in somebody's backyard. We're doing well. We are doing it in somebody's backyard, and everybody seems to be having fun. But oh my gosh, Mr. Bobby Newman is so great. Bobby Newman is fantastic and wonderful, and Chief is having a good time. We didn't buy any alcohol. I don't understand why he's so giggly, but he's had a long day. He has worked really hard, toting around all his cameras and stuff. Oh, so we got done with Drew Estate. We got done with JC Newman. Then we went to Adventura. And as you can see on my shirt, I have an Adventura sticker. Every year, we've been there 3 years. We've had every year Henderson, one of the master blender, puts a sticker on my shirt. And so this year is just like all the other years. He put a sticker on my shirt, but this sticker is really, really cool because I don't know if you can see it because all the little, there we go. This is a camouflage looking sticker, and I'm going to show you why. One of the things he gave me was a Blue Eyed Jack. Love that cigar. Love the Blue Eyed Jack. Blue Eyed Jack's Revenge. But they handed me a sampler of the Adventura core line, right? And it's got in here the Explorer, the Navigator, the Conqueror, Royal Return, Queen's Pearls, the Royal Return, King's Gold, the Barbaroja's Invasion, that's the red one, and then that box talks pirate stuff. And the Blue Eyed Jack's Revenge actually talks back to that box. It's a parody back and forth, which is really, really cool. Cool. But now there's one coming out next year. It's not coming out till next year, and it is the Black Fins Parlay, and that's what this little sticker's for. This cigar, when you can buy this from your purveyor, you tell them you want the Adventura sampler. And you can't spell Adventura without putting adventure in it. I love that. I love that. I came up with that myself, right? But if you get this sampler, you're actually going to get a cigar nobody can get for a year, right? You'll be able to taste it before anybody else does, so you know whether you want to buy it and tell your purveyors when they go to PCA next year that that's the cigar that you want to have in your lounge. Pretty dang neat. Michael Z, you're never late. You're always on time, buddy. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, howdy, how you doing? How are you? How's your family? So, we got this right here. Let me sit this down. Got some neat stuff. By the way, I don't know if I told you, this was the biggest PCA that me and Brian and Chief were talking about it. We can't remember a PCA that's been this big. And there were over 50 first time booths, people that came for the first time to PCA to promote their cigars. Over 50. I know it wasn't 60. I want to say it was 58, but I know safely there were 50 different booths. It was slap full. Me and Chief ran around. We, at the end of the day, Brian goes, "How many steps did y'all do?" And we started counting steps. And I'll tell you what, we could have walked up the Empire State Building 17 times a piece and still had a couple steps left over. It was crazy how far we went. It's Fillmore Films. Cool name. How are you, my friend? And I am smoking an undisclosed blend from Sanj Patel. Um, Fantastic cigar. It still the best cigar I'd ever smoked, and I got to tell you, this cigar is more than I would have expected it to be. So the best I've ever smoked, I don't know, but it is one that I have smoked, and I'm enjoying the fool out of it. And that smoke, so delicious. It's like gravy. By the way, did you know? You didn't know this. The first lady actually saw a bald eagle today
That was one of the most exciting things ever.
in real life. They went out to plantations and cemeteries. They said the crowd at the cemetery was dead, but on bunch, right? It was a grave situation. Um, there was lots of questions. There was there was lots of questions, but nobody would casket. I just thought of that one. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Anyway, back to the show. Moment of our sponsors, Villiger Cigar. That's right.
Did you tell them that tomorrow is the comedy show at PCA?
I'm working out my material. No, they do not have me on. I have a face for comedy, but my humor is somewhat lackluster. But then we went to Gurkha. We went to Gurkha. We did not go to Gurkha last year. We went this year. Last year they had the Mike Tyson cigar, which some people don't think is the best in the world. Some people think it was a knockout. But a bunch. All right, anyway. So it was so busy. I didn't want to get in there because Mike Tyson was there and it was just crazy. And so we didn't do Gurkha last year. This year we did, and they've got some amazing cigars coming to you, amazing offerings and pairings coming to you. And one of the ones is I forget what it's called, but it is a patriotic cigar, and it sends money to Folds of Honor, which gives money to help children whose parents have died in the Call of Duty and service. They also have another philanthropic group that they are giving to help veterans that are going through hard times. 13% of that cigar, of the price of that cigar, is going to those charitable foundations, and the cigar is costing $13. Now, the reason why the 13s and the group is called 13 Folds is because when you fold a flag for the last time to honor somebody's memory as they have passed in time of service, it is 13 folds on that flag. Did you know that?
Yes.
I did not know that, but I learned that yesterday when they were talking about it. So went to Gurkha. We saw that. We saw the Year of the Snake, which they have a gorgeous humidor, and they have 4 different blends from 4 different manufacturers. One of them, which I got a hold of right here, is a Mexican San Andreas wrapper. I'm a sucker for Mexican San Andreas. I love Mexican San Andreas. That toothiness, that pepperiness, that spiciness. I must cough. That grit and gravel is really, really a delicious wrapper for me. And this, I believe, is going to be one of those cigars. If it is half as good as the band and the box looked, it's going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So we are almost halfway through. We did 10 interviews today. That's right. We scheduled 9 and we popped up for a 10th. Yes. And we got that. That was at the Placencia where I showed you. I'll show you that again because we'll have time at the end. But after Gurkha, we went to Paustani. And now I told you that that the Paustani is, or that I love Mexican San Andreas. I do. I love Mexican San Andreas. Paustani Mike had me try the new Paustani San Andreas. Fantastic. Thank you. Paustani it's an amazing cigar. This is maybe one of the best Mexican San Andreas blends I've ever had. I got to tell you, I was a half an inch in, and I told them I've never said this before, especially in April. I've never said it at PCA. I've never been as bold to say this because I want to make sure that it would be Steven, that that it would be on my list. This made my list of top 20 right now. I can tell you right now. I smoked it through the whole time. Luckily, we had time. The interview was only 30 minutes long. I had 30 minutes before my next interview. Smoked through the whole thing. This thing was just amazing. The problem with Mexican San Andreas for me is that when you're done blowing out the smoke and you're in that finish, the area between the next puff and the last puff, it can get a little gritty. It can get a little gravelly. It can get, Matt Dominguez, what's up, buddy? It can get a little bit on the aggressive side, and it just makes you want to drink something. It really does. This was so smooth in the finish, was so creamy, was so tasty in the finish. I had so much enjoyment of the cigar. I'm telling you right now, this is the first time I've ever said that this will make my top 20 list this early, and it will. If you don't believe me, watch the list. 2 reasons why. Keep me in check. Next thing is, I need the views. So check this out. Chief's list hit over 4,000 views. Mine hit only 2, and I still hear about it. So you got to watch my list. Watch Chief's too, because those views help me as well. Mike at Paustani is a great guy. He really is. I enjoy his story. Real blue collar, no sleeves, grassroots kind of thing. Really, really enjoy it. Tiny booth, small booth, but the cigars are real big. You don't take the booth home with you. You take the cigar home with you, and that cigar is amazing. He spends his money on his blends, not on his booth, and I respect that. And then we went to the JRE Aladino booth. Very bright yellow. You could see it from a mile away. Aladino, the first time I had an Aladino, I was not feeling like I was going to be impressed with it because the band was extremely simple. It was brown and white, and it just looked like a basic cigar. And I'm sitting there thinking, if you don't put any time in your boxing, in your banding, maybe it's because you didn't spend a lot of money on the tobacco. Maybe it was just a leftover blend. You just want to move that tobacco you have in your inventory. That was the farthest from the truth ever. I enjoyed the fool out of my first Aladino, and I've enjoyed every Aladino since. Now, Aladino has come out with, I don't know if I kept it, I might have smoked it. I don't have it. The Aladino, the new Aladino, is a Connecticut shade wrapper. The band is gorgeous. The band is much bigger. It's an 85th anniversary. It was supposed to be 80th anniversary, but when the master blender, it was his birthday, when he was 80, the master blender said it's not ready. Let it rest for another 5 years. That's how dedicated he was to making sure that blend came out well. So it's now the 85th anniversary or 85th birthday cigar. I highly recommend you get you one and try you one when they come out there, hitting the shores, stores very, very soon. Who have we got left? All right, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. Let me tell you what. This is always my favorite interview because Steve Saka has these low chairs that are extremely comfortable. He'll pull out a bottle of extremely expensive scotch or bourbon, and he will give you a cigar, and I will lean back in the chair, and it will be like two guys sitting there watching TV talking trash. It's just a hangout time for me, and we could cut off the camera and just hang out for an hour. It's really fun. It's really organic. It's really real. We just enjoy hanging out and talking. And Chief's in there, and he's in the middle of the conversation. Well, this year was different. Still enjoyed hanging out with Steve Saka. We went long. We actually went a minute or an hour and 5 minutes. We were late to our next interview. Boston Jimmy, he was behind me. He was coming up, and he was kind, probably because he was scared of Chief. And he just said, "Hey, it's okay. Y'all just sit and talk." And he sat down with us. But Steve Saka had a table, a desk this time. And so we sat across from each other at the desk, and he handed Steven the new bronze bag, the one that's coming out right now, the new release. And he handed me his 10th anniversary cigar. And I got to tell you, when I first lit it up and smoked it in the very beginning, I'm like, well, it kind of has a Sin Compromiso feel, but it's also got a little bit of a mellow sober mesa kind of thing going on. And there may be a little brulee kind of kicking around in here. And then he laid it on me that every last tobacco was a tobacco that he's never used before. And he said, usually when you have an anniversary series, you're going to charge a ton of money, and he didn't. He said, usually when you have an anniversary series, you're going to have that blend that everybody knows you for. He said, I did something brand new. And then he said, the packaging is kind of muted. You don't put the big piano black stuff on like everybody else. And he goes, no, I just didn't want to do that. I'm going to do things that nobody else expects me to do. And then he started rolling down his list of cigars for coming out this year. It's going to roll out between now and September, depending on what the release is. The new Red Meat Lovers Club, which he says is his favorite blend now. The 10th anniversary, the year of the Duque, which has already been sold out. He still showed it, but it's already been sold out. I got to see Chris Duque and his wife Trish and give them hugs. And they said, tell the First Lady we love her, which they do.
It's so sad.
And they're wonderful people. And of course, Cindy and Yvonne and Anna and David Lafferty and everybody. They're just family. And then my man came up to me and gave me a cigar, and he goes, give me a shout out. So hello, I gave you a shout out, and I will shout out you again in another video. Your name is in my notes, and I can't get to my notes, and I don't want to mess up your name. I think I know it, but I may have messed it up, and I don't want to do that. But he did. He came up and we talked a little bit, and he brought us out a little cigar before we got over to Steve, which I enjoyed between shows. But he also has two samplers. He has a core line sampler, which has 7 cigars, and then he has the deep cut sampler, which had, I think, 10 cigars. Now, he said most people put out samplers because they're trying to push out cigars that they've either got too many of or they can't move, and they discount it, or it's a way to get you to do it, because I didn't do any of that. Some of these cigars, one of these cigars hadn't even been released yet. This cigar right here is going to be really hard for me to fill all these orders, and I'm not going to charge you discount prices. If you took each one of these cigars, you looked at what average MSRP is, that's what it is. You're just going to be able to try all the Dunbarton line in one simple sitting to where you can decide if you want to buy a box or it's not for you. It's a real neat way of doing it, and Steve is very honest. He says, look, I mark up all my cigars the same exact amount, the same exact percentage. That way, I'm not wanting one to sell more than the other. I'm not trying to discount. He goes, I love all my children. This is when he was asking me about, do I love my children? And I do. But he said they have to eat on their own. In other words, if there are cigars that don't sell, he doesn't make them anymore. Todos Los Dias is one of them. Even though he loves Todos Los Dias, it just didn't hold market share. He said in the Stillwell Star line, the aromatic number one is by and far the most desired cigar from Stillwell Star line. The holiday line, which is a little sweeter and aromatic, is going great, and he sells a lot of them. The Bayou, which I like, he said the Bayou is the least seller. So there's going to be a shakeup in the Stillwell Star line very soon, which means if you like Bayou, you might want to get you some Bayou because I think Bayou is bye. The fact that he announced that at PCA in New Orleans and it's Bayou, it's kind of interesting, right? Tongue in cheek. But yes, ma'am.
Newsflash: stock
News flash.
market crashes knowing that the Bayou might be buy.
That's hilarious. Steel Bob says, appreciate the information. Matt Dominguez says, mahalo. Steel Bob says, I'm looking forward to the DTT sampler. I am too. There's going to be that large sampler and then the smaller sampler, and they both look amazing. Really, really well done. When that video comes out, which it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It'll be the 7th video that Chief probably puts out. And so it will be coming soon because Chief has committed to grind. He's going to put out video after video after video and just keep on it till it's done. We're going to put out over 30 videos, and I know that 30 videos from PCA is going to be a lot for you. But I got to tell you, you really don't want to miss any of it. You want to see these videos. A lot of these videos are going to be shorter. A lot of the interviews are shorter. Steve Saka, Bubba, go pee before you start because you're going to be there for a while. Or take it to the bathroom. Who hasn't? No, don't lie. You've done watch videos in the bathroom. I know you have because I have too. What else are you going to do?
As long as
I
you're
mean,
not making videos
when
in
I
the
grew up,
bathroom.
when I grew up as a kid, I had to read the back of shampoo bottles. FDNC yellow number 5, red number 2, riboflavin. Right? I had to do that. I get it. But now we have technology and we can watch videos so that our brain goes to mush and we get numb. Matt Dominguez says, not sure you're taking any non-PCA questions, but any thoughts for the latest DEFSL Freestyle Live reveal, either the Cigar, the DuPont set, or both? I, that DuPont set is probably going to be in Matt Dominguez's house. Won't be in mine. It's gorgeous. It's fantastic. But it's $4,500. Bubba, I can't swing that. And they're making a very limited amount, so I guarantee they're not going to send it out to media. And I wouldn't ask anyway, because that's a big ask. But I did get one of the Dominicana. That's the new Deadwood line, and I plan to smoke that. I'll go hang out at Drew Estate. Drew Estate sponsored us for PCA. Now, who sponsored us for PCA After Dark? That's Villiger Cigars. That's right. Their name is what they sell, cigars. And what you should buy? Cigars. Villiger Cigars, if you're nasty. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Janet Jackson was in my head for a second. I'm glad Villiger doesn't watch these videos.
But your next sponsor,
Gary
Vinegar,
Brooks,
may be watching.
my man. Yeah, it's not much, $3,600. It's there's not many made, 500 pieces. But hey, Bob, love your content and your style. Richard, I love your taste. I think you're fantastic. And if you like to taste good cigars, might I ask you to try our sponsor, Villiger Cigars. That's right. They've got great cigars, and they want to put them in your house because they want to pay their bills. So, I tell you what, Villiger, they got their money's worth tonight. That's for sure. They didn't last night. But we're supposed to do 3 videos. We're going to do 4 videos. That's right, because I've got lots to stay. So, Chief, we're up to 25, by the way.
You had 30 earlier.
Did I have 30 earlier? First lady said we had 30, so we're almost at Chief Talk numbers. So, the next one. Now, this one is interesting. I told you there are Adventura, I almost forgot. When I went to Adventura, I got an Adventura hat. There was 4 different styles. Chief got a different one. This one was all black. This one will last much longer. I can't wait to put a bend on it and put it on my head. So next is Black Star Line. Black Star Line is a very history centered company. Every cigar has a story, and they have 7 or 8 different cigars. I am not familiar with Black Star Line. It was the most uncomfortable video. If you want to see me in the worst positions you'll ever see me on video, watch that video. It was a very narrow couch, just enough for 2 regular sized people. Luckily, this guy was somewhat slender, or schmedium, so as to speak, but me, I'm gravy. And so I took up a lot of the couch. And when he sat down, he's long legged. He sat down, he sat all the way to the back of the couch. And the couch sagged in the back like hospital couches, right? When you sit in the lobby in a hospital or a doctor's office. And so I try to avoid that because when I sit back, I kind of look like a turtle upside down. And it's just not a good look. And so I couldn't sit back because he was so far behind me. Chief couldn't get us in the shot right. Want to be out of focus. So I had to sit back. But the problem is, at that point, I was committed to have my butt on the edge of the seat, and I couldn't scooch back because the carpet, the fabric wouldn't move me. So I just ended up letting my shoulders go back. So I'm sitting here back like this, trying to look at him. This was the worst video of me, but he carried the day. He talked about his history. He talked about his heritage. He was a Chicago firefighter, retired, but he talked about all these. He has a Martin Luther King cigar, which was really interesting because he said Martin Luther King started off in tobacco. They say that's where he learned how to preach because he practiced preaching when he was working in the tobacco fields. That was interesting. That was interesting. Now I haven't fact checked that, but if you're willing to say that on a show that has 24 people watching, then you must mean it. So let's see. We got some more comments. What did Deadwood announce? They announced that new cigar, the La Dominicana, Connecticut shade. Well, it's a shade wrapped leather rose Deadwood cigar. Nice. Fillmore, the newest Freestyle Live cigar released. Okay, so Matt's answering the questions. Gary Brooks says, my lounge couch is sagging, but wait until you see what I'm going to reveal in a few months. Well, I hope it's not you sitting back on that couch like I did, because it just is not a good look. And make sure that when you do that, your shorts are tucked in at your knees. Don't let the shorts be flapping around. Don't ask me how I know. Hopefully Chief will edit that out of the video because I've got some baggy cargo shorts. All right. But I was going to say something, but I won't. I love Deadwood's Yummy. Eric is an amazing guy. And he said, yes, he did. I don't know what I did, or who did, or they did, but evidently Michael Z says they did it. Fireborn said, I got the FSL sampler. First fight, Tola was okay. The Toro, so looking forward to the others. Matt Dominguez says, according to Google, Martin Luther King Jr. worked on tobacco farms in Salisbury, Connecticut during the summers of 1944 and 1947. He was a student at Morehouse College in Atlanta at the time. That's right, Steel Bob. We do have to keep it family friendly. But Black Star Line came out with, and I just dropped them all over the table, came out with a bunch of cigars, handed me a bundle of cigars. We were running between events or between interviews, so I didn't have time to look at them. So I'm going to look at them with you right now. Let's see. That is a firefighter looking cigar. Can you see that? It's got no name on it, so it's kind of hard to put a name to it. They're all very dark. So this is Black Star. This is Black Star, a basic named branded cigar, right? I'm not going to pull my cellophane because I don't get tore up on my way home. This is a cool looking one.
While you're looking at those,
I can't see that.
Wants to know what vinegar do you recommend?
I can't see that, but that's a cool look right there. That's nice. Then there, I think it is rosewood. And then this one is Longfield. Like I said, this is the first time I ever sat down with them. It was kind of interesting because they said, hey Bob, hey Chief, and this and that. And then I introduced myself as Bob the cigar guy. And they said, this lady said, she said, you just said who you were? I said, yeah. And I'm like, it's on my shirt, but I just said it. And she goes, we know who you are. And I thought that was kind of cool because I now know who they are. I now have new friends, but I don't know what that one is either. But we will. I told him I would do a review of at least one of his cigars, and then we will get that out to you. And I'm going to let you know if this is as good as the story, because stories are great. I love stories, but stories don't always taste good in your mouth. I want the cigar to taste as good as the story is. Now, to Villiger. That Miami is fantastic. The Villiger Miami is a fantastic cigar. I enjoyed it a lot, but there's not many of the Villiger cigars that I wouldn't grab quickly and smoke. I actually enjoy them. Oh, I thought Sarah was counting me down with minutes, but she's flooding off mosquitoes or bugs. So I'm gonna put some mosquito repellent in the air. Hang on just a second.
No. Thought that smoke was coming out another end.
I'm blowing smoke right at her for saying something like that. I did have a lot of boudin, so there may be some smokiness coming out tonight. We're gonna be under the covers, fluffer nutters. So, that's Mr. Fahrenheit. That's right. That cigar is called Mr. Fahrenheit because he said he got it from Queen, in one of the songs. Queen said Mr. Fahrenheit, and he kind of stole that name from him. That's exactly right. Thank you very much. That's the Rosewood. Michael Z knows these cigars. Alex Noander says, hey, family, how are you doing? I'm doing well in the middle of chaos because the craziness over there and over here is just... What? I don't know. Okay. All right. That's the amazing cigar. Have I smoked the Yasuki? Yes, I have, and it is delicious. I did. That's where I got them from. Man, I wish I would have remembered that. That was a great cigar. That actually made my list. Man, I wish I knew that. I'm going to go talk to them tomorrow. Thank you, Michael, for reminding me about that because they didn't have any out. I would have known. Why did they not have that out? They made it on my list. They should have said, Bob the Cigar Guy had put me on this list. No, they shouldn't have done that. But even the bugs love Bob and family. The bugs ain't bothering me. They're on the First Lady. I bugged the First Lady, so it's going to be all right. But let me get a sip of soda because my mouth is dry.
How many cigars did you smoke today?
How many cigars did I smoke today? Let me see. I did 10 interviews. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17?
Is that counting the one you're smoking now?
Yes.
Just today?
Just today. So I'm up to over 30 for the trip. Easy. Joshua Elliott, have you had the chance to come across
Oh, that's your friend, right?
Chariot Freedom Fighter? They are local to Melbourne, Florida, and donate a portion of proceeds to combat human trafficking. That's a good thing to combat. Well, the cigar has great flavor. I have not. I'll have to keep an eye out for it. It was a dojo release, no longer available, but that was an amazing release. So I'm really looking forward to it now. I am. And this cigar from Sanj Patel is amazing. It is. Smelled like perfume. I was worried it was going to taste like perfume, but it doesn't. It has such a bouquet of deliciousness. It's fantastic. I sound like a cigar reviewer. So we did Black Star Line. Now, the last place we went to was Placencia, and I told it in the beginning, but I'll tell it again because we have 11 and a half minutes. So I got to run out that time because they paid for an hour. Who paid for an hour? Villiger Cigars did. That's right. In their name is their product, cigars. And what do you want? You're watching Bob the Cigar Guy. You want cigars. And while you're getting cigars, why don't you get a Villiger? Why not? If you get one, why not two? Two, you get five. And five, heck, a box would be good, right? Get you one, try you one. Lots of flavors, lots of vitolas, lots of sizes, lots of shapes, lots of deliciousness with great quality and performance that you desire. When you set fire to that thing and let smoke come out your mouth. I had to tell First Lady mouth because she wasn't sure where all the smoke was coming from. She's shopping on Timo again. She's not paying attention to me.
No, I'm actually looking at Pancho Mendoza, who said, "Gyat, dang, 16 cigars."
Yeah,
and I'm thinking,
baby.
gyat is not slang for gyat dang.
Well, he was being kind and not saying the other G dang, right? He was being polite. So I thank you for your politeness. So can't wait to head out tomorrow and pick up some Villigers. My man, thank you, Banker John. Love you, buddy. So went and saw Placencia. The guy came up to Chief and said, "Hey, you're Chief." And he goes, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Well, you're meaty." And he goes, "Well, yes, I am." Because he had a camera that was as big as a Mack truck with batteries on the back of it. He's got all the fancy stuff. He's got a monitor on the back so he can see better, and he's got wires hanging out of where he had a boom mic coming off of another mic. He's got on a tripod with a frame and everything else, and so he looks like the media people. He does a great job, by the way. And so he's doing all that, and the guy comes up to him and he goes, "Hey, Placencia, I work for Placencia, and we are having a media party from 4 to 6. It's a by invitation only, velvet rope kind of thing. We would love for you to stop by, and if you want, we can get you a video. You can do an interview with Mr. Placencia himself." Now, Placencia, if you don't know, has many, many blends, but the Alma Fuerte is one of the most amazing blends. I love an Alma Fuerte. One of the things is shaped like 6 sides. Come to find out that the reason they made a 6-sided cigar is because it's the shape of a honeycomb, which they believe is the perfect design of nature, right? So it's natural. It's a great cigar, and it is. And this new cigar that they put out, which is the Alma Cielo, which is grown at over 3,500 feet above sea level. They gave us a little cute little box that had one of those cigars in it. And it also had this amazing, gorgeous, extremely heavy triple jet lighter that is 6-sided. It's got a punch on the bottom. Believe me, I can't pull it out. But it's got a punch on the bottom of it. So this is a full kit, and it feels like velvet. It does. It has such a nice feel to it. That thing is hefty and wonderful. I mean, that thing's nice. That thing is really, really nice. I like it. That's going to go right on my desk because I really dig it. Now, I left a couple things out. We've got 9 minutes, 8.5 minutes. Guyat is acceptable, says
Yeah.
Fillmore.
Yeah.
And Gary Brooks said, "Is it collared shirt and pants dress code?" This is what I wore. This is my new Bob the Cigar Guy shirt, right? I got that whole style thing going on. I put my name on my shirt so that people can direct me to where I need to go. But it says Bob the Cigar Guy right here, and a lot of people I kept hearing them, "That's Bob the Cigar Guy." Well, how do they know? Because it's on my shirt. Problem is when people come up and say, "Hey, Bob the Cigar Guy," I don't know if it's that they know me or if it's that they can read. And so it kept my ego in check because I'm sitting there going, "Do you really know me or do you know how to read?" Because everybody has a badge with their name on it. My badge is on my backpack. I don't wear my badge because I'm doing the videos, and it gets in the way of the microphone. And so I just have this on here and all that. When you go out of the convention center, go to the bathroom, you have to make sure you take your backpack because you can't come back in if you don't have your lanyard. And I almost found that out the hard way. But went to the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust booth. Saw Chris Duque. They always hand me cigars. Chris Duque is awesome. He always hands me a couple. Don't tell Steve. Don't tell Steve. He just got your the Duque cigar. Don't do that to Chris. Anyway, forget I said it. I got a pack of cigars. I've got the Wagashi, which was my number 1 last year. I got the Mickey Rita Black. I've got the Aromatic Stillwell Star. I've got another Mickey Rita Black. I've got the new Red Meat Lovers Club, which Steve Saka says is his favorite blend. I've got the new Umbagog Bronze Back. And then there's one hiding in the back. And what is that? Oh my goodness. It is the Sin Compromiso number 4, which Chief and I both put in number 4 of our list for last year. This is a pack of delicious tobacco tasty treats. And you know what's funny? Stephen had to go off to our next meeting because we were late to go see them, and Chris gave me his bag. Chris didn't give me no cigars for cheap. I got 2 bags of cigars. So we went to the Drew Estate Liga, toward the Liga. And so you went to the first station. They actually gave you, I'm loving it, I'm digging it, a Savage Feast coffin. If you know me, you know that this is one of my favoriteest of all time cigars. When I did the DE25 in Dallas, the Savage Feast in Dallas, I smoked 17 of these. 17 of these in one day. People thought that I was going to die, but I just kept smoking these things like a chimney. I loved it. It was fantastic, phenomenal, delicious. Savage Feast is one of my favoriteest cigars, and I just love this Vitola. And you can't buy these. These are only at events where Jonathan Drew is, and this is a fantastic cigar. And that light is really, really irritating, isn't it? Look at that. It is. That's irritating. Let me see if I can get it to shine on. I can't get it to shine on. Her vampires don't reflect. So, I'm in trouble for that. So I'm just kidding. They were in the graveyard today, and I told Sarah to bring holy water. Then we went to the second station where we went and saw Pedro Gomez, and he talked about tobacco, and we got one of his 20 coffins, which has two of the um, Undercrown 10 Anniversarios that are only in his Vitola that you can only get at events as well. And so you can't buy these, you get these. So this is amazing and this is awesome. And then we went and saw my man Willie Herrera, the master blender of Drew Estate, and he was talking about the H99, and he gave us his event only cigar, which is the Cajachina, which is a pig of the Herrera Esteli line. And the funny thing about this is we were talking about it when I was asking what our favorite H99 Vitola was. Stephen piped up very fast. If you don't know Stephen, his name is Chief. Chief piped up and said, I love the pig in that Vitola. Willie said, he has never, ever smoked a pig.
Ooh, no, he didn't.
Yes, he
No,
did.
he
He said he don't like a pig.
didn't.
Now, his family is Cuban. El Titan de Bronze is his family's cigar rolling factory down in Miami. And they make traditional, narrower Toro Gordo, not even Gordo, Toro Robusto size cigars mainly. And so he doesn't enjoy that size. He much prefers a different Vitola. So he doesn't smoke that Vitola, which I was like, Luckily I didn't say I ain't gonna tell nobody because I just did. But we had it was a Tortoliga experience. And so when you go to the Tortoliga in Arizona, which if you don't get your ticket the first day it comes out, the first hour it drops, you're not going to go. It's a one-time-a-year thing, and you're going to want to be there because this was an amazing educational experience. You got to smoke lots of cigars and have a great time. But this was your passport. They gave everybody a passport. And is it the last page? Yes. When you went to every station, you actually got a stamp. Isn't that pretty? Look at the pretty colors. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? You see that right there? That's nice. And each one of them is a different design. And you got from Eric at the end and Christine and Isola a Drew Estate challenge coin, Tortoliga coin. You get these challenge coins, and this is a nice, thick, nice, heavy, very nice cloisonné, which means enameled. Challenge coin. You know, Drew Estate doesn't do junk when it comes to swag. When it comes to cigars, it doesn't do junk either. But you know what? As I was talking about places that don't do junk when they make cigars, might I introduce you to Villiger Cigars? That's right. They're our sponsor for tonight, and they make cigars, and they make them in great quantity, great quality, and great flavors. Get you some, try you some. Let's see. There is some stuff. Delish, delight, the lovely Savage Feast you gave me was delicious. Absolutely, Gary. They are fantastic. Fireborn says, look like stuff for the First Lady to give away. No. No. Yeah, why didn't Chief block that statement? I tell you what, because she can take his stuff too. Pigs are great. I love pigs. I'd rather have a feral because it's just larger. It's just bigger. I get more of it. That pig is, and I said it when I was talking to Will, I said, the thing about the pig is that thing smokes a lot longer than it looks. It's a lot longer in the thing. And it was a media event. They had the media come, and we went with a couple, a man and a lady, and it was me and Chief, a man and a lady, when they're doing these different stations, which was upstairs of the booth. It was the second floor of the booth. And come to find out, looking at their badges, because they're wearing badges, because their name's not on their shirt like mine, they were the owners of Cigar Snob magazine. And you know what? They knew who we were. And I was like, oh. And then I was like, well, why ain't you asked me to do an article yet? Maybe because I have to write my name on my shirt. I get it. But Cigar Snob Magazine was in there, and it was interesting to hear their perspective and their outlook on the differences of cigars. It was neat because it was interactive. You got to talk back and forth. Let's see. That's like admitting you've never had chef's pulled pork.
Chefs, chiefs.
Chiefs. Well, okay. Not everybody has had cheese pulled pork.
No. He's saying Willie's saying you've never smoked a pig. It's like you saying you've never had
Fair enough.
chiefs pulled pork.
Michael Z said Willie's wife is an amazing blender. Gary Brooks says, was Duque handing out poi? No, and I did not see the chocolate candies this time, the macadamia nut candies. I know every time I show up, he gives me a box, he gives Chief a box, and he says, give these boxes to our wives, and then the wives get them, and then me and Chief sneak one, and First Lady goes, did I eat 5? Yeah, babe, you did. She actually ate 1, and I ate 4 when she wasn't looking. Because they're good. It's true. I need one that says, I'm with Bob, the cigar guy. Yes, you do. Go to fancustoms.com. You can get one for $50. That's what they cost me for my shirts. I buy one at a time. I buy 2 every year, if not 3, if Chief doesn't complain about it. And I put the year on it. This one says 25, so that next year I can buy 3 more because it's 26, right? That's the only reason I put the number on, is because I want to get more shirts. How's Lee Mack doing? Lee Mack is amazing. I got to sit down and chat with Lee Mack. Fantastic fella. I love that guy. And we actually did dueling lives. He came up to me starting a live, and I was in the middle of about the beginning of live. I was going to say, hey, look who I've got over there. And while I was typing, he got up and he came over to me, and he's podcasting me while I'm podcasting him. It was a love fest personified. You want to see my part? Watch it on the YouTube live videos that I posted up. And if you want to see the rest of it, go to Lee Mack's page and see what he posted. Lee Mack is phenomenal and awesome. He is one of the people that I just enjoy and look up to because he's so positive, so encouraging, and he has a palate personified. He has a northern accent because he is one of those people of the above the Mason-Dixon line that I enjoy calling Yankees. I love them, but that's what they are. And but he's amazing. Big city guy, and I love him. He's amazing. I got to see William Cooper. I got to see Eric Gutmerson in Jordan from Cigar Dojo. I got to see, oh, God, dog it.
Oh,
Big
my
idiot jumped in the
gosh.
pool.
Gee, what's
Big
wrong with
idiot
you?
jumped in the pool. Daggone it.
Is that not freezing cold?
Big idiot jumped in the pool.
Oh, you. Yay.
Now, see, it's my fault because I should have ended at 60
No,
and you
Chief
would not
finna
have seen
leave.
that.
He's Chief in the pool.
Oh, my God.
You're welcome, everyone.
Thank you very much.
I am glad that Chief got in the pool because when we got here at the Airbnb, nice Airbnb, but the pool was dirty and it needed a little bit of work. And we told them it needed a little bit of work. And so they came out and they, he's freezing. They, they came out and they cleaned the pool. And I was hoping one of us would at least get in the pool, and it was not going to be me. So he's in his underwear. And did you know Chief's new underwear has pockets? He's done told everybody that he talks to, and my underwear has pockets. And we actually had a long conversation about why do you need pockets in your underwear? And Chief told me why. This is why Chief needs pockets in his underwear. He needs pockets in his underwear because when he goes to the gym and he wants to put his phone somewhere, if he puts it in his pocket that he's working out with, the phone will fall out between exercises. So if he puts it in his pocket in his underwear, then it doesn't bother him. Now, I did not ask him if he puts the phone on vibrate. That would be something that we need to talk about personally, father and son. So Gary Brooks said, I can be your pool boy next time. I work for Cigars. Bubba, get down here. We got 2 more days. Come on. I missed you this year already at the studio, but you can come on down here. Can Gary Brooks come and be our pool boy, Chief? Yeah. Come on, Gary. Bring that lady friend of yours too. Bring her on, and y'all can hang out with the First Lady and Miss Tracy. So that's it. I'm going to go. I have met my commitment. I have told you everything that happened today. Tomorrow is going to be an even bigger day. We have a ton of people we're going to see, and I'm not going to do that. Chief has got nothing on but his underwear, and I do not want you to see that video. Even though he is, even though, I got to tell you what he said. Chief said, underwear just like swim trunks. They got pockets. Right? So it's where he keeps the Starbucks to warm. So, I mean, it's just, it's craziness. This is chaos and mass pandemonium. PCA may not be for you as a consumer, but it is for you as a consumer because that's where your shops go to get their cigars. And if you tell them what you want and you're willing to buy half a box, I guarantee they'll buy a box or two. And it's awesome. And oh my goodness, Fireborn, what did you say? Confucius say, man with hole in pockets feel. Fireborn, thanks, Bob. Tell the boy to get out of the pool and get to those interviews. That's right, Gary. Tell him to get to work. So, this video has been brought to you by Villiger Cigars. That's right, Villiger Cigars. They make cigars. It's in the name. You ought to try one. You're going to smoke them. If you're going to get a cigar, Villiger will give you one when you pay for it.
And you smoked one, haven't you?
They will sell no cigars before you buy it. That's right.
Cigars
That's
you've smoked. You've smoked one of
Now
those.
I want to smoke a
that's
cigar.
right. So I'm gonna go. I'm tired. I've had a day and I'm getting a little punchy. I'm gonna go eat some more of that boudin and I'm gonna sit down and laugh at the family. So I love you. We will be back tomorrow. Please come back and check us out. Please come back and see, because I'm gonna have some great content. I'm gonna get some more stuff and I'm gonna share it with you. I love you. I'll see you later. Have a great day. You deserve it. That's a fact. Later, Tater.